I remember that in many of the times I just like had the courage and I told myself, if you don't do it, you will just be like in the margin. You have to put yourself in the light and just go and like interact with the people. And it's only the beginning that is hard, and then everything will go.
Welcome, Wolfpack fans, to another episode of Engineering Pack Pod. Today, we are so excited to have an interview with one of our graduates of the Smooth Sailing program. It was our pilot year that we began supporting PhD students, and that's where Rahaf and I met. And now she has graduated from NC State, defended her dissertation in computer engineering, and has a passion for creatively solving complex problems and has already been snatched up for a full-time job out in the Bay Area with Apple. Isn't that right, Rahaf?
Yes, thank you so much for this nice introduction. I'm really glad to talk to you again. And thank you for inviting me to this talk. Thank you for everything.
Thank you for taking the time, Dr. Abdullah, I should be saying, because you have worked so hard to get this degree, and congratulations on all of the efforts of defending your dissertation. Just share a little bit about where you are right now in your journey and what led you here.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Rahaf. I actually started my PhD back in fall 2021, after kind of immediately after my bachelor's degree. So I started at NCSU. I worked on memory security for accelerators. Now it's 4 years since I started my PhD, and now I hold my doctorate degree. Like 6 months ago, I came to California to do two internships, one with NVIDIA and another one with Meta. And while doing so, I was also like doing interviews. I got a few offers, and then I decided to go ahead with Apple. So I'm now in the Bay Area in California. And 1 week from now, I'm gonna be starting my new role as a CPU architect at Apple.
That's amazing. So let's go back to something you said about internships, because for our listener who may be at the beginning of their own journey, they may be wondering, how do you get an internship and how do you move across country and begin working while also trying to get through all of your research? Share a
Mhm.
little bit about how that unfolded for you, please.
Yeah, sure. So basically, internships are really great opportunity to bridge between your PhD research and the industry applications. So I really recommend everyone to look around and search for an internship opportunity and go for it. How I found my internships, basically, I was using LinkedIn and the websites for each of these companies that I am interested to intern with them. They would have the openings there. Sometimes they also have sessions for like prospective interns. I applied online, and then I got calls for interviews. I did the interviews. I was selected for some of these positions. Some I was rejected. So, like, you have to be patient. You have to keep your spirits up and keep searching. And at the end, you will find something. So, also, if you know someone out in those companies, they can refer you, so it can make the cycle shorter for you. So yeah, networking is really a great opportunity for you to find internships fast, using the websites, LinkedIn, social media. Like, yeah, keep your eyes on these things, and definitely you will end up with something great. Regarding my internships, for me, they were like very, as I said, very great opportunity. I got to deal with and collaborate with talented engineers. I had to see how large scale systems in the real world work. And actually, I found that the PhD research cycle is mirrored there in the industry teams and how they operate, especially in like in my field, because I was interning in the architecture. So I felt like I'm doing the practical side of my PhD work. So I really recommend everyone to look for internship opportunities. They would find it very rewarding.
And walking through that was really helpful to hear that you went on LinkedIn, because I think some people get intimidated about, oh, I need to get my profile up, but I haven't done it yet. And you went ahead and applied. And I was going to add another resource that we have at the university is EPAC, where sometimes students will also search EPAC for internships. And you mentioned you got rejected and you found that final offer. How did you keep yourself moving forward, Rahaf, when you were having rejections? Because that can be really hard to hear the no.
So basically, it's about the mindset you have, right? So it's not a rejection of you. It's maybe your skills does not align that well with this job, right? So you have to know that there are many different positions, many different roles, and you have different expertise than other people. So the company or the recruiters in general, when they are trying to do their job, is to make the best fit. So if you are like rejected for a position, that doesn't mean we reject you, that means you are not the best fit. And if you have this mindset, you know that it's not about you, it's just you search in the wrong direction. You have to divert yourself to more suitable and more like better fit for your skills and expertise. So yeah, that was my mindset. I never felt down because I was rejected, especially if it's in the early screening, because sometimes you are rejected even without being called to interview. So, I mean, what they know about me to get like offended or something? It's just they looked at my CV and probably they felt, okay, the skills are not that good to this job. So, yeah, I had that mindset. I never fell down and just kept searching. And actually, I ended up with many opportunities. I was really glad of what I got and the experiences I already like experienced in the last 6 months.
And that is such a healthy way to process it rather than taking it personally and say, what's wrong with me? And it's such a hard job market and no one will ever pick me. To realize that it is just specific skills and that wasn't the right fit. And you got multiple offers. I'm just curious, how many did you apply to? Just a guess as to how many, because sometimes people feel like, is there a magic number?
Yeah. So if you need me to start, roll back to the start of applications, especially for internships. I think finding the internship was harder for me than the full time. So I was like, new here in the US. I have no experience in the industry in the US, right? So I applied to many positions for internships, maybe around 50 to 100, I would say. That's the number of applications I put for internships. I haven't been called for most of them. I would say for me, every call for interview ended up with an offer. But I applied a lot and got rejected many times without even being interviewed. To be honest, I would not be too much ideal at the beginning. When I am not called to any interview, I was okay, what's going on? Like I felt bad a bit. I had some kind of hit in my confidence. I even asked my advisor, what's wrong? Like I have been applying for 2 months, no calls for interviews. At that time, he told me like that's normal, like there are like thousands or hundreds of people trying to apply to these jobs. Just keep applying. So yeah, after that, when I get the first call for internships, I somehow I got calls at the same time for three different internships, and I ended up having two offers of these, and I had to select one. That was like this, not this summer, but the last summer. And then after that, actually, yeah, I would say I applied for 50 to 100 for internships. For full-time jobs, I tried to apply last fall, and then I didn't get any calls, to be honest. I stopped because some people told me it's a bit too early, like you are graduating a bit late. So people, when they post a full-time offer, they are interested in someone to start early. So I did not apply, and I focus on getting some internships for the early start of the year because I'm still a student. Yeah, and then when you do an internship, there is a very high chance you get a full-time offer. So it's a good opportunity for you to get an internship and prove yourself within a long term instead of just like, 2 hours or 3 hours of interviews. But I would say you have to apply to many. Probably in my field, 50 to 100 might be like normal number because also I heard this from my peers and colleagues in the university.
It's so helpful to have you walk through and just normalize how those rejections were hitting you hard and you needed support and your advisor encouraged you. I wonder about that piece where you, like you said, applied to 100 or more. So if you do the math, it's like you're getting a lot of ghosts and just wondering, oh my goodness, what's going to happen? And then it all starts coming together. I wonder about the conversation, because you mentioned your advisor that you had about leaving for 6 months. And if you could share a little bit about that in terms of, were you nervous, or was there any concern about maybe you wouldn't be progressing as quickly as you should if you took this time to be in the industry world, because it would delay the time you would have to be putting towards your research?
Yeah, that's completely correct. If I go back to the early years of my PhD, I remember my advisor not being that accepting the idea of doing internships because he wanted us to focus on our PhD research. After all, it's a project as well. Yeah, you have to work on it. But for me, I have done these internships towards the end of my PhD. So at the time I started applying for these 6-month internships, I was already kind of done with the requirements for my PhD program. I have finished all the credit hours required, and also I did the research required for my graduation. So basically, my advisor was encouraging me to go for internships because, now you are transferring yourself from the PhD program to find your next step, whether it's going to be in academia or industry. And one way to know where you want to land is to try. So I have tried the academia world. I wanted to try also the industry world as well. So yeah, actually he encouraged me, and I don't think there was any concerns regarding the 6 months because they were kind of toward the end of my PhD. But if it was early, like in the first or second or even third year, I don't think that long internship would be a good idea because it's going to be a delay in my PhD program.
Your timing is helpful because that meant that your advisor supported you, and it's
Mhm.
almost like all the hard stuff for your research and your dissertation was under your belt, and then you could take time to be over doing this industry work that would benefit you professionally. So there's almost two different things happening here, where there are priorities that have to be thought through, and getting the important work of your dissertation done, which you just did, along with working at it's Apple, where you were saying you got your offer. And then, of course, you tested the waters with them. They tested the waters with you. It's like a 6-month interview, and you knew that they were interested in you because, of course, you did amazing work. And they also knew that you were interested, and the offer happened. So that's a really encouraging thing. Like you said, getting the internship was the hardest part, because then you pretty much had the opportunity to prove yourself. So
Mhm.
being away for 6 months and doing this on another coast where you probably didn't know anyone, and you mentioned coming to Raleigh, you were from another country. Can you share a little bit about these transitions you went through and advice you have for people who may be in
Mhm.
them at this time?
So you are interested about moving from a different country to different state or having no connections there. My advice to people is first they have to be patient and they have to understand that it's not easy when you move to a new place knowing no one, especially if it's your first time. So when I moved to the US to start my PhD, it was my first time leaving my home country. Definitely, I felt homesick, knowing no one there. It's not easy, and also new culture, new people, everything is new. So one of the most important thing is to go around and find support connection. You have to find friends. You have to go outside and search for people. Like you don't need to keep just waiting for someone to initiate that with you. You have to if you need something, you have to go for it. So I felt like I need connections. So I start talking to people around me. I need to have some friends. And after the first semester, I already have few friends, few people I know, so I can go out with them. I can talk to them. So that was helpful. And you have just to let time go because the time is the main cure for this. I mean, with time, you get used to the new environment and everything, and you will be feeling better, much better. And now, when I moved from Raleigh to California, it is the same cycle, but because I have already went through this before, it was much easier. I mean, I also know no one here in California. Maybe it's still the same country, maybe the same culture, but it's still I don't know anyone. But because I'm already having these skills of how to adapt to a new environment, I would say it was very smooth. I didn't feel anything challenging or something.
You were getting more and more comfortable because you'd already done it, and now it's just, oh, moving 3,000 miles away, no big deal. What were some of the things you got involved in where maybe you felt a little intimidated, but you just stepped in and did it?
Oh, that's an interesting question. I would say when you are new, everything looks intimidating, right? If you need to jump into a bunch of new activities or like a new group of people, and you are different or you are new, they know each other already, it will be a bit scary, but you have to do it. So I don't have a specific situation or event I can talk about, but I would say I remember that in many of the times I just like had the courage and I told myself if you don't do it, you will just be like in the margin. You have to put yourself in the light and just go and like interact with the people, and it's only the beginning that is hard, and then everything will go ahead. And yeah, so I encourage people always to have the courage to participate, to go ahead for them for their goals and passions, and they it doesn't work for you if you are shy or scared because you are new.
Well, I remember when you came to a focus group of mine. So I'm going to give you an example. You got this random email from this woman you didn't even know saying, I'm new in this job as professional development director. I just kind of want to talk to some PhD students. And when you got that message, you showed up. And I just think that's amazing because it's easy to delete it and it's easy to think I don't have time for it. So
Yeah.
you're a wonderful example of taking some risks. Could you talk a little bit about the process of getting the job offer and negotiating? And tell us even a little bit about what the role is and why you decided to take it.
Yeah, sure. So basically, I think there are two different ways to get a job offer. One is to go through the interviews, and that's how I got the Apple offer. And the other one is to do an internship and get the offer. And that also happened for me because I interned with NVIDIA and got an offer. So if we need to talk about both of them, the first one is try to get an internship and please like be serious about it, do your job and try to prove yourself. And here is an example of you should take risk and being like always initiative and like do what is asked from you, and also like try to be proactive and do other things if you can do. And then I think most of the time, if you were doing really great, they will ask you if you are interested to continue with them, and they will extend you an offer, even if you still have some time to graduate before that. The other thing is to go through the interviews, as I got the Apple offer. So, my advice is always to be confident. You are not supposed to know everything in the world. When they invited you to this interview, they already need to spend time with you. So they will not just invite anyone out of nowhere. They have already looked at your skills and your CV, and they know that you might be a good fit. So now it's just your case to prove that for them. So just be confident, be willing to learn, be like kind and polite. And if you have like the foundation and the base, the core knowledge, they would be happy to extend you an offer, even if you maybe don't know everything, but maybe you have like good portion of the requirements for the job. Also prepare for the interviews. It's a chance for you, so you have to revise your knowledge and everything. So I would recommend always preparing for interviews, even if like very brief preparation, still it's gonna help. And the most important thing in my opinion is being confident. This is a way to get a job offer. And now in regarding negotiation, I think that HRs are really helpful, but also it's good for you to go around, and maybe people are not that much comfortable sharing the numbers with you, but you still have online platforms. There are many of them. You can search online. You can find like people with the same skills you have, same years of experience, how much their offers are, and then you can compare because at the end you need to be kind of similar to them. You don't need to have very like large gap between your offer and their offer, at least in the negative side. So you need it to be positive or like similar to these. So first, before you start negotiation, go around and have some kind of an idea where you should land in terms of the range. And then when they give you the initial number, mostly they will ask you for your expectations before they even giving you their number. So based on what you have looked for and you find, you can give them numbers maybe a bit higher, and then they will give you their offer and you still can negotiate. I think for me, because I have at that time three offers, I could have negotiated with confidence because when you have competing offers, all of these companies will try to like boil you to their side. So they are even more willing to respond to your expectations. So if you can get more than one offer, that would be great. And it's gonna be like strength point for you to do even stronger negotiations. But even if you have one, you still can negotiate, especially if you feel like your offer is not that fair compared to what other people in the same skills set are getting.
That was explained so well. And just saying the confidence, I'm so glad that you emphasized that. Getting three offers is incredible. So you were in the driver's seat. What made you accept this offer? Was it really aligned with your values, or what about it attracted you the most?
So actually, choosing which offer to accept was a bit hard, because all of the offers I got were from really great companies. And all of the roles were exciting to me. So I wanted to see where I want to be now and which one aligns better with my goals. So I wanted to do something that touches the lives of many people. So if I work for Apple, it's going to be the team which designs the core processors for MacBooks and other devices. So, like these are laptops being used by millions of people worldwide. It touches a lot of different even areas. It will be making a real difference in medicine, education, empowerment, and many other areas. So that makes me feel the work will be incredibly meaningful and it will give me some kind of fulfillment that I might be advancing someone life or even a domain. For example, if it's going to be used in medicine, I might be like, even if it's indirectly, it's going to be affecting more different domains. So that was exciting for me. And also, like, I would say all the companies have really great, talented people. So I can't say I chose Apple because of that. But yeah, all of them will offer me this chance to work with really like talented and experienced people. And I'm really excited about this because, you learn from people so much because they have like years of experience compacted. And once you work with them, you can get kind of like the summary of this. So instead of you spending many years to get that experience, you can get from them the summary. Like if they have put it in a bottle and they just give it to you. So that's something I am excited about as well. But yeah, as I said, I wanted to be doing something that would be impactful for the world. And I'm still searching where I can really have my own great impact for this world because I like to help and like leave an impact. One day we all leave this ground. I would like to have an impact before I leave. So the working for Apple would be helping me at least in some way, partially fulfilling this goal.
For sure. And you actually hit on three of the things that when students ask me that question, what about this job and will I be making the right decision? You hit on all three of the things that I typically ask them. And I even say if you get two out of these three things, it could be a win with the job market being hard right now. And it is people. You feel like you would enjoy working with them because you're going to spend more time with them than you will your loved ones. A company that's got a good reputation was number two. And then the third is you're going to be learning and moving towards your goal. And you hit a home run. So hooray. And as we record this, it's the week before you start. So I'm sure there's a lot of excitement, as you mentioned, and
Sure.
uncertainty. So we're going to end with our time machine question. Are you ready for a fun one?
Yes.
All right, so a time machine just pulled up to your room where you are, and out steps Rahaf of 2035. 10 years your senior. She steps out of the machine. She sits down right next to you, and she says, I have some advice for you as you start this job because I'm your older and wiser self. What
Mm.
would you need to hear from her today?
That's really insightful question. Thanks for asking it. So I think I would say the most important advice that I would like to give myself is always to be resilient, to have the capacity to accept failure, and don't let small setbacks discourage me from continuing on my path because I have to keep my perspective on the bigger picture. Look why I started, what I'm doing, and what is the thing that I hope to achieve. And definitely there is no smooth line from the beginning till the end. So I want to encourage myself to keep going, focusing on the final destination that I want to be in that state, like whatever it is. So I want to be hardworking as I used to be. I like to use my time, most of it at least, for rewarding things. So I need to do things that are really pouring into my final goals. And also, I want to remind myself to take care of myself all the time because I mean, I'm the main character in my life. So I have to take care of myself. And if I need any like rest or break, I have always to take it and put all the work aside so I can keep going with full energy and activity. So being resilient, being patient, accept failure, and keep going and work hard and focus on my final destination because I really, as I said before, I want to leave an impact to this world. So I want to focus on this and don't let any small setbacks, any goal you can't achieve will give you some kind of pain or like sadness, but it should not be final. You have to hold yourself again and continue because there is no time to like grieve a lot in life. You have to keep going ahead. Take some time to rest, reevaluate your situation, but you have always to focus on your final destination, why you started, where you want to end, what is the impact you want to leave. That's how you can encourage yourself to be where you want to be.